Stanley, pages 55 and 56. There was still no sign of him. In the kitchen, we found the only shred of evidence. On the kitchen table sat a cereal bowl with a few dried-up cornflakes stuck to the bottom. Stanley had breakfasted before disappearing. We extended our search to the garden. Again, there was no trace. Just as we were about to panic, I heard a strange whistling sound coming from my car. As I approached it, I realized that it was not actually a whistle, but rather a snore. As I opened the door, I found Stanley in the back seat, fully dressed in his school uniform, fast asleep and snoring like a foghorn. As I carried him gently from the car to the house, he awoke. In a confused and anxious voice, he said, "Daddy, I've been waiting ages for you. What kept you?" "It's only 7:15, Stanley," I assured him. "Is that early or late?" he asked. Remembering Stanley couldn't tell the time, I told him that it was really early. "What time did you get up?" I asked. Not quite sure how he, as a person who had no idea of the clock, would answer. "When you and Mummy went to bed. You always go to bed late, so if it was late, I didn't want to be late, so I got up," he said, in a matter-of-fact sort of way which defied logic. He had me totally confused. I just smiled and told him that in future he was to stay asleep and let me do the worrying about the time. He made me promise I would never in my life allow him to be late for school. I made the promise knowing that it would be an almost impossible one to keep. Stanley tucked into his second breakfast of the day. Being up half the night had obviously given him an appetite. He ploughed his way through a plate of sausages, rashers, egg, and black pudding and washed it all down with a glass of orange juice. He then packed his lunchbox, cleaned his teeth, and joined me in the car for the short journey to St. Thomas's. Even though I had lived in the town for many years, Stanley directed me every inch of the way. "You turn up here, Dad! Down this road! Dad, stop at the red lights! Dad, you can go now, Dad, they're green. Oh, it's not too far now, Dad. Turn where that fan is turning, Dad." All of a sudden, my 4-year-old son had become both a tour guide and a driving instructor. I realized that my usual early morning radio news program would never be the same again. On arrival to St. Thomas's, we were met by the sight of several children crying who were obviously, unlike Stanley, not very pleased about their first day.